Nisha Mathur. Behind every migration, every revolution, and every fight for identity is a deeply human story. Today, I'm joined by two remarkable authors whose books explore resilience, belonging, sacrifice, and hope from very different worlds. Ruchika Gaba Vasishta is the author of Abode Abroad, which brings together the inspiring real journeys of immigrant women navigating identity, culture, and starting a new life abroad. And we're also joined by Dr. Suresh Kumar. He's the best-selling author of The Girl in Scarlet Hijab, which takes us into the emotional and political turbulence of India through a sweeping historical novel about courage, resistance, and humanity during times of change. Together, their books remind us that behind every movement, migration, and moment in history, the same universal question exists. What does it take to hold on to identity, hope, and humanity during times of change? Ruchika, Suresh, welcome to the show today. I am so honored to have you both here. Your books are incredible, so touching, so emotional. I'd like to start off by asking you what emotionally pulled you into writing these stories.
My book, Abode Abroad, is about 20 immigrant women who had their foundational years in India, but they've spent more than 20 plus years all over the world. And they've made a life of love, a life of compassion, a life and a journey of everything, how Indian values prepared them to have a parallel world here in an immigrant country. So it's about their day-to-day life and how they have made it possible to be resilient, happy, and very, very much proud of what their life and their kids are now.
And Suresh, your book is fictional. Tell us about it.
It's fictional, but it's based on real events that happened,
Correct.
both pre-independence and then after independence, the 1980s.
Okay.
And it is set in the town of Cochin in Kerala. I just wanted to mention in terms of what inspired the story. It actually goes back about 40 years, and it came to me as an image that I saw when I was in school of a very elderly, famous writer in Kerala. After he did his speech, there was this long line of people waiting to meet him, to speak to him, get his autographs, etc. And in that line was this young girl who was having a head covering. So the image that I had was of thinking through what could be their possible relationship, because one was in his 70s, the other one was a very young teenager. And that got me thinking, and I've been carrying that image with me for over 40 years, and a health emergency that I had gone through, during which, when I was alone just before the procedure, scrubs and all those things on, I was just thinking, have I told what is important in my life to my son, who was only 12 years at that time? And the answer was not really. I told him some things, but not the whole picture. The stories that I grew up with, that his grandfather and his grandmother grew up with, he had not learned in full.
And those are the stories that shaped who you are today.
Exactly.
Ruchika, you heard the stories of immigrant women. As they told you the stories, what surprised you about the emotional part of immigrating?
Honestly, Nisha, before I started talking to these people, I always thought immigration is all about, okay, fine, tickets booked, suitcases packed, goodbyes said to family, some couple of dinners and lunches, and you are in a new place. What completely surprised me is that immigration is not one day event or a week event. You are living with it every day. You are living with not seeing the faces around you, which you recognize. You are living every day as you are going to markets, picking up the regular groceries, and you don't find the same stuff, raw materials, food items that you have really seen through or you've been brought up. Your comfort food definition is changing.
Yes.
And fast forward, it's about incomplete aspirations. It's about wherein you are trying to have your network redefined. You want to celebrate festivals. You want to dress up the way you would have dressed up, not missing your cousins, your family, your siblings' birthday parties or weddings, and even being side of your sick parents. Immigration is all about that.
Yeah.
Every story, every woman I spoke to shared small moments when they could not be where they should have been.
The girl in Scarlet Hijab. She's a central person in the story. Tremendous resilience, courage. What did her essence mean to you personally?
So for me, she meant somebody who may be unseen or considered as maybe not a main character, but she also has the same thoughts of having a better life for herself and her society and is willing to step out and do something about it. And the scarlet color kind of is a sign of rebellion because most, as you know, most traditional hijab is either gray or black. So somebody who wears a different color, and that too in the 1980s in Kerala, was very, very unusual. So she was based on a character that I knew in college. That was a symbolic way as of showing that you can stand up and be counted and make a difference.
Mhm. So many women show courage in very hidden, everyday ways.
Yep.
Do you think courage is sometimes misunderstood because it's not presented in a dramatic way?
Absolutely. Courage is normally looked at some an act of heroism, wherein you have fought something, you have uncovered something, you have been on a journey to find the truth and finally been successful. In this book, I would say all the women, they looked at courage so differently. For them, courage was okay, fine, today morning, successfully able to send the kids to school with their lunches on time, not missing the bus, and then still in the morning able to do my own yoga or exercise, have a glass of coffee or tea, and then manage everything. That was courage because they said they were able to build that discipline. They were able to manage it out. They were able to get the kids still do Rangoli before Diwali or still participate and go to a Hindi school on the weekend so that they can learn the language, and for that matter even believe in the Indian festivals per se. So
Yeah.
I would say yes, courage in this book is all about identity, refinding yourself, reinventing yourself, not afraid of being judged by a society which may be progressively more free than the society you came from.
And in both of your books, the females are the central characters, and they are the ones who really are giving us examples of courage. Why was it important to both of you to make your characters, the central character, a female?
In my case, it was because I was inspired a lot
Right.
by my own mother.
Correct. Oh,
And so she played, in fact, I have a character like her who is also very courageous in a particular scene in which the police is attacking the young protesters. So she steps in and stops, kind of turns things around. And I would say that maybe it is easier, maybe for an Indian, whether you're American Indian or Indian, to the woman or the mother plays a very central role in most families in India, and their sacrifices and what they do is subtle, but it's absolutely foundational for
yes.
any family or individual.
And many times you think that they're putting their others' priorities over theirs.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
I feel like that's an underlying theme, and with a smile on their faces.
Absolutely. And
It's not forced.
yeah.
Nobody
yeah.
is constantly telling them, okay, you need to first make your child's lunch or first make dinner for the family and then do that.
Right.
Correct.
Nobody's telling them to
Nobody.
do that.
And actually, you know what? On top of it all, their ordinary efforts are still tagged as ordinary.
Right.
Their stories are not heard. Their efforts are not recognized. They were from any part of India. So effectively, these 20 women, they have actually stayed in 57 towns or states in their lifetime while they were in India, which was not more than 22 years. They were also traveling to a different city, different place as the father was getting transferred. So effectively, even across the norms with which they've been brought up, the values, the virtues that have been given to them, it was said that, okay, this is your job, this is your responsibility, you need to be a caregiver. So their efforts, their stories were never heard. Just looking at the struggles they've gone through
Yeah.
in order to build an abode abroad, which is not their hometown, it was as if, I was called by this thought.
Right. Right. South Asian families, we look to the male as the strength and the female as a nurturer.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that we are looking towards these characters for inspiration and for their strength. I love that you both did that with your books. What do you hope people will talk about after they read your books?
Well, in my case, I'm hoping that they will have a conversation with their older generation. I think you would be more rooted, more grounded. And I think if you can make that one connection, if my book encourages that discussion, I think I've done my job.
I think if you're able to derive comfort from even one story, one sentence, the purpose of this book is met.
Yes, so beautiful. I am inspired today. I know sometimes when my mom tells me a story of her old days, and she's repeated that story at least 15 times. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I do get irritated and I say, Mom, I know.
Yeah.
But maybe I won't say that now. And I'll listen again, because that is part of my history and that's part of my roots. I really think both of you have highlighted everyday heroes.
So you just got to look around, you'll find heroes
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope that our viewers will read your books, because I think they're absolutely outstanding. And I'm going to ask you to please give me a signed copy. I would love that. So now I'd like to start our rapid fire round with two amazing authors, Ruchika and Suresh. What song best describes your book?
कतरा कतरा मिलती है, कतरा कतरा जीने दो, जिंदगी है.
किसी राह पे, किसी मोड़ पर.
Tell me the hardest part about writing your book.
That I would be able to well represent their stories, but at the same time, keep it respectful.
In my case, it was just controlling the emotional journey, especially when you have people that you know and that you're close to as characters.
Tea or coffee while writing?
Oh, any day, masala tea.
For me, it's coconut water.
And final question of our rapid fire. What's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
I was a gymnast in my school and a radio jockey for 12 years.
I was a political activist in college. One interesting aspect is that a friend of mine who also was with me at KSU is now the Chief Minister of Kerala. His name is V.D. Sadishan.
Oh,
He just got elected as Chief Minister of Kerala
wow.
last month.
Yeah.
So interesting. It was such a pleasure talking to both of you. I can't wait for everyone to read the book. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.